Hello everyone, and welcome to Helpful Goat Presents Tier, Moontree Isle. I'm Galway Trainer, the unbenevolent dictator of Helpful Goat Gaming, and tonight I'm your DM as my friends and I build and explore a magical world together. Or in the case of Tier, not so magical. As I mentioned, I am the DM for tonight's proceedings, and the stars of this evening are the people that you can see below me in the video chat. First off, we have Rachel playing the half-burned cowman, Nero. I was trying to come up with a description, and I think I've used that one before, but it's how you describe Nero. And I kind of feel like how Nero describes himself. Basically, he's like the friendliest, well-done burger in the world.
I love that.
Oh, that's so sad, but accurate.
Oh, wow.
Continuing to make her way around the world of Tyr, Chris playing Ketch.
Everyone.
Elise, who, when she's not busy tearing out her hair, wondering how the party has managed to split into more factions than there are party members in Spire, plays Minnow Row here and threatens me with party splitting.
We are down to only 2 groups in Spire right now. We have the group up Spire, we have the group down Spire. Anyway, hello.
The group being me. But...
Yeah. You know,
Poor
you and Sweet
broken
Pea. Never alone.
With a slightly different choice of headgear this week, Sam playing the suit of armor with emotions-ish. Nero's working on it.
We're working on it. Woo!
And last but not least, Heather playing Ressa, who's the voice of reason and throwing horses through windows.
Hello.
I'm not gonna forget that for a while. Really good, because I picked the week after that to be like, yeah, the voice of reason. I'm like, this scans, and you're like, I suggested throwing a horse through a window.
There was a horse skeleton in there,
but it was also better than it was arguably better from a voice of reason perspective than the people arguing to throw themselves into the church that was blinking back and forwards through time.
Very true.
At least there you lost a mount.
I threw the lizard in.
You did. What was his name again?
But now we're friends. Jebediah?
Jebediah, was that it? Yeah, okay.
Jebediah.
Secret agent.
Yeah, Secret Agent Jebediah. All right, well, with that little bit of very long ago recap out of the way, welcome everyone. This is Helpful Goat Presents Tier Moontree Isle. Helpful Goat refers to Helpful Goat Gaming, a small independent game design and game content production community that I am a part of, that here is a part of. We play a lot of tabletop RPGs that we stream here on Twitch at twitch.tv/helpfulgoat. If you are interested and want to check out more of what we do, you can check out our website, helpfulgoat.com, and you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at helpfulgoat. We release podcasts, which you can find information for down below in the descriptions. The tier stuff appears in our Helpful Goat Presents podcast feed. And then we also have level 1 to level 20, well, we're at 13 or so, long form campaign in the Goats and Dragons podcast. And we also have us playing Dungeons and Dragons with Dominic Monaghan, which we just wrapped up the first season of that in live plays, and we're still working our way. I think we just finished the first sort of half of the first season in the podcast. The suit of armor is nodding, so I am going to say that that's a yes. So you can check those out wherever you get your podcast. We have a bunch of links down below for those. We are affiliate here on Twitch, so you can cheer some bits. You can subscribe to us. You can also subscribe for free by using Twitch Prime, which if you have Amazon Prime, you get for free. Super easy, and there's a bunch of guides on Twitch and basically anywhere else because Amazon really wants you to use that benefit. One thing that we want to note right in here, current events are making this really important for messaging, because it isn't that current events are different from the importance of this, but current events have reminded a lot of people that as people with some level of platform, it is really important for us to encourage you, to demand that you work towards the cause of racial justice in America. To that end, we have !BLM as a command, We also have the ! Donate command, which links to a variety of charities around the causes of racial justice in America. We encourage you, all of you, to take a moment, educate yourselves, donate if you have the resources, and if you don't and you have gone through the education and you want to help with this but you don't have sort of the disposable income to do so, we strongly encourage you to reach out to some of the local chapters of these organizations, local BLM chapters, local NAACP organizations, etc., that can give you ways that you can help in your community that can not involve expenditure of money, or if, like me, you have an immune condition that in this era of COVID makes demonstrations and protests really risky for you, can be safer for you as well. So we encourage you to give of yourselves, educate yourselves, and of course take care of yourselves as well. Coming up next week, like I said, we stream every week, multiple times a week. Next week, on Wednesday, I believe, we'll have the Bounty Buddies, which is sort of a playtest run through of a Helpful Goat designed tabletop RPG, Adventures in the Void. You'll follow a group of happy-go-lucky bounty hunters. We're working on it. It'll be fine. They're getting paid in buddy bucks. It's not a legally transferable currency. It'll be good. But yeah, you can check that out on Wednesday right here at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. On Thursday, you can have the aforementioned Spire, which is down to 2 groups in their party split. This is literally a record. I think you spent most of the first 2 sessions with a 4-way party split.
Yeah, 4 split. And then we are probably ending Thursday next week because Barnabas has gone to bed.
As in ending the day of Thursday in game.
Yeah. Yes.
Tuesday lasted for a month and a half, about as a
I think Thursday has lasted. Thursday has lasted at least as long as Tuesday, but I think we're pretty much done with Thursday.
Barnabas is suddenly going to be like, nope, I'm fine. We're just exploring everywhere. Drag it out. See, this is we just need Sweet Pea to go on a ramp. Rachel should just roleplay Sweet Pea, adding to the party split, getting that good, all-important solo hyena action. And then next Friday is question mark? I realized I should have confirmed this with a couple of other people before I got onto this. I've been very busy. If I seem a little tired or I begin speaking just sort of nonsense, that's not nonsense in the normal D&D sense. I'm in the process of moving, and so just very exhausted generally. My apologies beforehand. But yeah, we stream almost every week. Normally there would also on Tuesdays be Goat's Eye View, which is myself and one or more guests chatting about tabletop RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, our experiences with both of those things, and also tips and tricks and techniques for running games, playing games, etc. That's just getting paused while I pack up my entire life. Okay, see, Sam says in the chat, yes, I can see I have eye slits, but the way he said that makes me feel like Sam has eye slits, not the helmet. The eyes are just camouflage, everyone. He actually operates through the eye slits that are directly below the eyes that you see.
Dent has eye slits, so therefore he can see.
There.
We should try painting over. Maybe, okay.
And we've already gone into playfully blinding a party member.
If we blindfolded Dent, would he still be able to see?
That's what I'm saying. Is it actually related to the eye slits?
This could be good for the party, you know?
The first thing we do today.
No, the first thing you're going to do, well, you can actually lead us into the first thing you're going to do with telling everyone and reminding all of us, what was it that you did last time?
We wrote all of this up in the chat, so we don't need to consult notes. We can just do that, right? Okay. Where is it? Let's go.
I mean, you're technically still consulting notes, right?
Yes, but I mean,
Consolidated notes.
I don't have to flip through my notebook and find it. Okay, so we were at the place with the mercenaries and we had the note and we were debating what to do about the note. Eventually we told Dylan. Meantime, Ressa and Dylan both pieced together. I'm just saying these things. You guys can stop me whenever. Pieced together that the timeline was weird, that if the mercenaries had the note saying that we were traveling with Dylan, then they must have had the note sent after, but then they've been dead for a week, so how did they know? And that made us think that time travel may have occurred, possibly that either while we were in the basement of the thing, time travel happened and we were behind in the calendar where it is, or that somehow the shadow hand, is that what they're called, had time traveled in some way. But we made up a new name for Occam's razor. Do you guys remember what it was?
Oh, I don't remember.
Simplest solution. Okay. Well, anyway, we also, when we got to town, which is Tormanrile, we talked to a little kid and found out that we were 6 days more in the future than we thought we were. So like 6 days passed probably while we were in the basement of the thing. Ketch was given the ring from Dent, and the ring makes Ketch a cat magnet. And as soon as we got to Tormanrile, Ketch was covered in cats. Nero talked to
lots of cats.
Lots and lots of cats.
But I was able to talk to the cats.
This is true. The cats, I don't know if they gave us much information that we...
About as much information as you would expect a cat
to give it. Yeah, which this is very true. We found out that there are disappearances happening in Tormanrile. Most of them were located near the docks. But then at least one person also has gone missing from all of the other districts, including some rich person's daughter from the castle district. So people are starting to take it seriously. This made
Tried to bribe a child.
I did bribe a child.
Oh yeah, and then I went and directly ruined it all because I didn't notice any of the things you were trying to do. And it was great.
Just, fine. You talk to their parent.
It's almost like wealth can't save you from all natural disasters, huh?
But it is suspicious that, I guess the population is just way higher in the docks, and maybe that's why it started there. But, anyway, we don't know what's going on with that yet. Dent was worried about the fish market drying up, because how else is he going to get his fish? Nero lectured him about maybe worrying about the people, too. And that's when we got the message in Dent's head, which from Sam's notes said, primary detected, initiate support, integration process failed. And then later we another time had that thing happen, it reinitiate support protocol, process failed. I have in my notes just the word Stanley the squirrel.
I had that in my notes too.
Who is Stanley the squirrel?
Was this me trying to talk to a squirrel to get information?
Correct. Basically, as you were going along, you said to me that Nero was talking to everyone and all animals that he passed in an attempt to, and the one that you managed to forge any kind of connection with was Stanley the squirrel, who did not come with you the way Secret Agent Jebediah did. But yes, you did manage to meet a squirrel and have a brief conversation with him named Stanley. I like that everyone kept a note of that, but just entirely context-free. Just Stanley the squirrel.
The last time we played, I was less than 24 hours, well, just over 24 hours after I'd been released from a hospital. I don't blame myself.
No, you were down a fair amount of spinal fluid.
Okay, we Also found a bunch of like inns and taverns that we're all kind of familiar with in Tormanrile. We are at the Tattooed Turtle, which is in the docks. We were debating outside whether we should split up and go to different places, including Minnow's brilliant plan to disguise herself using disguise self, the spell, as her spouse, and go and see if people at the Light in the Dark, which is like the kind of seedy underworld, white collar crime, people who don't want to be noticed, tavern bar thing, and see if as Arden, Minnow could find out anything about who's hunting Minnow. And then Dellen just went in and ordered a drink, and we were all like, well, okay. And we kind of followed Dellen in, and that was that.
And also Nero has a ton of friends at all of those bars that totally tell him the truth about all of their families.
That's right.
Like, and I do remember Nero was like describing an interaction with someone specifically in the Light in the Dark, and Minnow was just like, yeah, no, that's all a lie. Didn't actually say any of it. It was just like, yeah, no, there's no goddamn way that dude's name is 1, Steve, 2, that he told you that, or 3, that he told you his spouse and or daughter's name, and the fact that you're not sure about that and he seems to not be sure is kind of the tip. Yeah, very good.
Yep.
So yeah, you are now in the city of Tormanrile, and I will move this over. And yeah, you arrived, it seems like 6 days after you thought you were supposed to be here. You're in the docks district at the moment, and you've just sort of, having gotten there, having asked some questions of people, Minnow's questions very subtly, Nero's questions very not subtly.
Oh, and seeing the map now just reminded me that Ketch we decided that we needed to have a code name for the Shadow Hand.
Yes.
So we were calling them Pineapple.
Yes.
And then so I kept referring to the secret place as the Pineapple's Den.
Which you can...
But we did call, wasn't it like Pineapple Foot?
It was Pineapple something.
I thought it was Pineapple Foot or
Pineapple
feet,
Lightfoot.
because Pineapple Lightfoot.
Yep.
But I just saw the Pineapple's Den and it reminded
But
me.
you saw the Pineapple's Den, and then you began referring to the Pineapple's Den, and should we go into the Pineapple's Den? And so I renamed this thing, which I think was originally like Suspicious Building or something, to the Pineapple's Den, which you know from one of Dent's memories of living on the outskirts of town. And you believe that is a place associated with the criminal syndicate, the Shadow Hand. But yeah, you're sort of pushing your way now into the Tattooed Turtle. And just as a reminder, inside, the walls are a deep, dark gray stone. And they actually have, in some places, little patches of moss you can see, because the air in this area is just so damp from being near the lake. The interior is, for those of you who are familiar with it, Dent's been in here a couple of times. Nero has been in. I feel like Nero is probably nearing the top of the list for has been in the most residences in Tormanrile, like percentage-wise. But is certainly familiar with this. It's always dimly lit in here. It doesn't matter what time of day. There's not very many windows, so it's always in kind of this evening gloom. Heavy rugs are laid over the floor, and there are heavy wall hangings, and all of that has the effect of muffling sound. You've been in this also. You've been in here some, Minnow, and you also would be very familiar as soon as you see this and you know this of it. This is all designed to sort of keep conversations private. It is meant to be just kind of a quiet, safe place. Considering it's down by the docks, you would expect it to be pretty rough, potentially, but one of the things that has given the Tattooed Turtle's reputation is that the owner and all of the staff are all experienced fighters, and they break things up very, very quickly. They are also armed at all times. And yeah, you look up and you see Dellen making his way over to the bar and waving down the innkeeper, Vaitan, who's a short half-orc man. And he sort of like can't quite hear what he's saying, but you see Vaitan pour an ale. Sort of Dellen sort of takes it and looks around and walks over to a large booth on the side and sort of waves at you all. He looks quite pleased to have a drink and not be outside. It should also be noted that within the context of this recap, the group in actual time, and considering this was all dialogue and roleplay, apparently also in in-game time, sat outside the Tattooed Turtle for at least 15 minutes talking about things. Like, I feel like a couple times I was like, hi? You coming? Oh. Okay.
What's the guy's name? Sorry.
The barkeep is V10. V10.
Yeah, Minnow will get a drink and go sit with Dylan.
Yeah.
Ressa will follow.
It's just a couple of coppers. Standard.
Sure.
I do want to, I'll lean over and say something to Minnow real quick. That I know you wanted to go and check out the other place. And if you wanted to do it, go off into a corner, disguise yourself, and then just sneak out. So it'll look like the whole group is here, but, and they won't notice if anyone's looking at the outside, they're not going to see you. And that'll give you the chance.
This is a good, Ressa, this is a good idea. I wanted to talk to you too, though, because I was thinking, our families are kind of expecting us to be gone for like 4 days maybe, and it's already been like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Do we think we should like send a message back home or something?
I think we
like
probably should. They're going to be worried if they don't hear.
Yeah. Probably we should get Ketchin on that too.
Definitely.
He wants to. Okay. Maybe I can see if I can hire like a messenger or something.
Well, there's a messenger service, I would think.
Yep.
I think Ressa would know that there would be.
Yep.
Yep.
In addition to just the sort of general one, Ressa, you would also know that a lot of the craftspeople have pretty deep connections with that, and you might even be able to get sort of a message in for free. Since it doesn't, they keep regular runners sort of going back and forth, and it doesn't add to their burdens to carry an extra note.
Sure, I will relay that then.
Okay, well maybe we can all just like take a second. I'll jot down a note. You jot down a note. Ketch can jot down a note, and then if you can find your contacts, that way we can all send something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I might also suggest maybe Dylan. Do you have any people you would like to get in contact with via post?
He's just sort of, if you've now moved over to the table, he's just sort of sitting there, sort of staring very fixedly straight ahead and occasionally going like, no, I don't think it would be extremely advisable for me to send any messages, but I appreciate that. Yes, no, so this is all somewhat different than we were expecting. Yeah, it's at least different than what I was expecting.
Yes, I'd say the disappearance is very not expected.
And the time jump?
I just want to say Nero isn't here for any of this because he's definitely over talking to Vitan and just like being annoyingly friendly.
But at least we've experienced the disappearances before, so feasibly we might be able to do something about it again.
It's just odd that it's one at a time here, rather than, in our case, it was the whole town.
Yeah, it's been 10 days, they said, since there's just kind of been this rolling effect, right? Do you know anything? Do we need to take you to wherever your people are? Like what, to Dylan, what do we need to do in those regards? Or should we just information gather first?
Well, my plan had been for you all to escort me to a handful of contacts that I have in town to see if I could determine what is happening with the members of Deephold proper, and then if that failed or they didn't have information, then we would go to Moontree Isle, where there should be a direct outpost, and I should certainly be able to get some information there, but I am torn. It is my job to investigate these kinds of happenings. Certainly the time skip was magical, the disappearances maybe, the shadow hand... I'm sorry, the, what was
Pineapple.
it?
Pineapple.
Heavy-handed
Yeah, the
mangoes?
pineapples.
Pineapples? Okay, right. Them being on the move is, even if not directly magical, a thing worth keeping an eye on, so...
Do you expect it to be magical? I mean, you said not directly magical. Could it be indirectly magical? Or could it possibly be directly magical? Like, do you have reason to believe the Shadow Hand are involved in arcane business?
In my experience, the pineapples are interested in whatever makes them the most money, the most safely and easily. Certainly this can extend to magics. As I've said, they've been known in the past to steal magical items, but I do not see what profit would have been in them disappearing your town. I do not see what profit there would be for them in disappearing several handfuls of people. I do not see what profit would be in their affecting time so arbitrarily. I do not know that they are not related, and I do not know that something that they've done isn't related, but it's more just concerning. If there is truly increased activity, as you suggested, that is always a thing for people concerned about the well-being of the world to keep an eye on.
Well, to me, it seems like it would be a bit of a great coincidence for the pineapples to want us and you, in light of the fact that we did save Amberheart. It just seems like there's too much going on here for there to not be a relationship. And I would say that it might seem that either A, the Shadow Hand is answering to a higher power, or B, they're just doing stuff that might appear to be out of their pay grade.
Yeah, I think it's pretty concerning to consider that the Shadow Hand, the pineapples might be being paid by someone to do these things. But possible.
And I'm also wondering if the people disappearing is perhaps an unintended side effect of whatever they're doing.
But then why go after us if we're the people that reversed the side effect?
Because we took the amber gem away from them. They no longer have access to it.
Perhaps the side effect was unintended, but the cost wasn't enough to prevent them from wanting to keep doing it. Whatever it is, their end goal is.
Agreed.
At this, Vitan is going to walk over, probably with Nero in tow, and just sort of like place a small bowl of like sliced pineapple. You all keep saying pineapple, and Nero here is very friendly, so I figured that this would, be nice for you. He kept saying something about you all being very interested in pineapples. I wasn't really sure what he meant, but...
it's a sex thing. Don't worry about it. Minnow pops some pineapple in her mouth.
We heard you had very insulated walls here, and so that way we would be protected. Okay, I'm done.
Fair enough. And he's just going to sort of wander away. You would know that... You would also know, for those of you who have interacted with him more, Vitan will buy any items from you, just absolutely no questions asked, but it's at half price, basically. You pay a percentage to him for the, sure, yep, that's fine, yeah, that's worth 10, so I'll give you 5, you will never see it again. So he doesn't want to ask questions. He's made his living very successfully on the docks, providing a place where people do not have questions asked. So now you have a small bowl of sliced pineapple. Nero is at the table with you. Dellen is still just like stone-facedly staring ahead, drinking occasionally.
Dellen, it might be helpful to prioritize right now. Do you think reporting back to your people is, of greater importance, or right now do you think it is more imperative that we perhaps investigate whatever is going on here in Tormanrile?
Are his people not... This is Rachel asking. Where exactly are his people located? Sorry.
He hasn't fully specified at any point. You know that he has contacts in the city, but the way in Tormanrile proper, but the way he's talked about them, he's suggested that they aren't members of his organization, Deephold, and he did specify that Moontree has an outpost for Deephold directly, and that's why that was then going to be the next place that you went if the contacts weren't like, oh yeah, everything's fine, we just heard from them yesterday. Fuck's wrong with your stone?
So maybe we should check out these contacts of yours. Are they around here somewhere, or?
There are several in different districts. I am torn. My group is, as I have said to you, very involved with magical threats to the world. Preventing them. It's why I was dispatched to Amberheart when we sensed something strange. And in that sense, I think it is very important to find what has happened to my people when there are odd, obviously magical things happening. But on the other, my group and I am sworn to protect people, and people are disappearing. And so I am unsure. I think in...
Well,
Please stand.
It seems like, to me, that if we were to investigate what's going on here, because it has just kind of fallen at your footsteps, and due to the kind of sheer magnitude of what it is going on, that, your contacts would be forgiving if the initial news that you had was delayed in light of gestures vaguely.
We certainly have...
We're necessarily doing this to pass on his information. I think we're doing it because they've gone quiet and he's worried that something's happened to them.
I mean, we have perfectly good reason to believe that your contacts, not your contacts, but the people at the outpost are disappeared too. I mean, I think that these goals are the same goal. I just don't know necessarily what finding contacts and seeing if anybody has heard from the people on Moontree Isle is not going to be antithetical, there's the word, to finding out what's going on in this city. I think if we figure out what happened to your people, assuming it wasn't just a malfunctioning sending stone or whatever, then we find out more about what's happening to the people of this city.
Agreed.
Yes, that makes sense to me. As I said, I have several contacts, but if you all have contacts, they might be just as valuable if these two things are in fact linked. The nearest contact I have to where we are right now is a dock worker here in the docks district. He should presumably be working somewhere along the waterfront. I know a couple of people in the Crafters district, and a couple of people in the Plaza district as well. But I leave it to you as to what you think is best and safest into how we proceed.
Okay, so it sounds like we're going to the Docks district, and then
We're in the Docks district already.
I thought we were like at the edge.
Yeah, kind of. We're in the docks. I think we divide and conquer. I think that there's a lot of places that like Ressa can go and get a message sent and talk to her contacts in the Crafters, which is also where, perhaps, did you say Crafters was where some of your contacts are, Dylan?
Yes, I have a couple of contacts there.
Okay, and then I will do my plan. I want to know what's going on at the Light in the Dark. I think that we might hear some good rumors there and maybe find out why people and I eat a pineapple are hunting me. I think someone can Dent is clearly concerned with the docks. Let's have Dent escort Dylan through the docks to find his contacts here. And then we regroup back at the Tattooed Turtle and Ketch. I'm not sure where you're I forget where Ketch is most kind of comfortable here.
Ketch has been all through Tormanrile, partially because of his family's work as like bookbinders and his own personal skill in calligraphy. Most of his connections are in the Merchants District and the Castle District. Castle District, where he had done either deliveries to or direct sort of commission work.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
the
Yeah,
Merchants District for having worked with a bunch of people who were shipping things, requesting things, providing orders one way or the other.
And where do these rich people live that lost their daughter?
The somewhat confused dock worker that you spoke to mentioned just that they were in the Castle District. They were fancy people in the Castle District.
Where do you want to go, Ketch?
Ketch, you also have the letter that the mayor asked you to deliver?
And that was to the Castle District, right?
Yep.
Maybe Ketch and I can go to the Castle District and investigate some more of this high-end disappearance.
Sure. And can Ressa check in, Dylan, if Ressa goes to the Crafters District with like code words from you and like who your contacts are, can she check in for you, or do you have to be physically present to check in with them?
No. And he'll sort of fish in one of his pockets for a second and hand you, Ressa, a small medallion that has a set of scales with an eye over it.
Okay.
And he goes, this is just a symbol of the group that I'm a part of, and they're not especially secret contacts. They do not work for us directly or anything. It's just people that we've contracted with, usually in the Crafters District, to make us things. But if you show them that and say my name, they will believe you to be associated with me. And you can just ask them, have they had any orders or any contact with any member of Deephold? Do they know of anything happening? Do they know of any news from Moontree? Anything, you can use your best judgment there, but they should believe you with that.
Okay, great. So then you'll have to describe them to me or tell me where I can find them.
Oh, yes, one is Ihe, who you actually know. It's a leather worker. And Ihe is a leather worker, a dragonborn man. The other is Rance, a wood elf woman. She apprentices at one of the blacksmith shops.
I should know her, wouldn't I? Since
You don't directly actually recognize sort of her name, and I'm not ad-libbing the rest of his description, but you know the shop.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I actually know Ihe, but and I know the shop that you're talking about, so yeah, I can get in contact.
Yes, very good. So Dent is going to be coming with me to have a conversation. He's just going to go
I would
fish,
argue
isn't
that
he?
you're going with me, but whatever.
He's just going to fish, isn't he?
Dylan, strong hand, okay? If Dent starts to fish, tell him, Dent, Fishing later, task first.
Should Nero go along? Or would we just lose them both? One to fishing, one to friend making.
How dare you?
I believe
feel
in
like
Dylan. I think
Nero,
you know what?
Nero's gonna go to Dent and just be like, remember our conversation before. This is important. We need to take care of Dylan before we can do anything else. Once he is finished and you have more time, then you can take Dylan fishing.
2 birds, 1 stone. Got it.
Bird first, second bird, then stone? No, that doesn't make sense. There's an order to these. You know, Dent, you can do it. I believe in you.
This is a test for Dylan, I think. This is Dylan's, Dylan, and I the thing that like your mom used to do to you, because, well, my mom used to do to me, where like they poke your spine so that you sit up straight because you're slouching. I do that to Dylan's spine so that he sits up straight. And I'm like, this is your chance. This is your chance, okay? This is it. I believe in you. Dent is very good at staying on task. We've all seen it. Just gets distracted a little, and you just have to remind him of the task. This is, I believe, Dylan, that you can do that, okay? And then
I like that I gave a pep talk to Dent how to be nice and caring, and you gave a pep talk to Dylan about how to have a spine.
How to have a little bit of a spine. I chug the rest of my drink, and I get up from the group and kind of find a dark corner and cast Disguise Self.
Sure thing.
And I now look like my spouse.
Sure thing.
Okay. I'll kind of salute the group and make my way out.
Who is that?
You've met Arden
I was gonna
before.
say, more to the point, actually, no, for you, Dent, Minnow, like, disappears. And a second later, Arden walks out. Who last you knew...
That's who she was looking... right? Yeah? That's who they were looking for?
Okay, you were here when the plan was made. I know that you are better than this.
Can
Time for stealth now.
Can I see this happening and walk up to Dent and be like, have you seen Minnow around? I've been looking all over.
Yes, I just saw Minnow. Just wait, I'll go find him.
I'm gonna take another pineapple and head out for real this time.
Okay.
Does Ketch have to deliver the letter to? I have down that I was delivering a letter, but I don't know that I have a name.
Yeah, the letter is to Imnik, who is a bookseller. Actually, you're quite familiar with him. You've done contract work for him. He's also bought like raw materials from your family, which kind of now makes sense as you pull out the letter and see who it's addressed to, why the mayor would have specifically asked you to go do this. Who was Nero going with? Was it still Ketch?
Ketch.
Okay.
Ketch is gonna have so much fun with me hanging out in the castle district together.
I very quickly slide the cat's meow into Nero's pocket.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
No, that can it be? Will it work in her pocket?
I thought because Ketch was attuned to it.
Yeah, it has to be on me, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
like, if I thought that it would work, I would definitely try that.
Because you're attuned to it, you know that technically it is the item's curse that is causing that to happen, and you can't just de-attune from it or hand it to someone else to remove that, so you'll still be being followed by cats.
Then I won't do it.
Nero will absolutely be talking to the cats the entire time along the way.
Okay. let's go ahead and resolve Ressa.
Okay.
Partially
Before
because
I go,
Mhm.
I'm going to get notes from anybody that wants to send a note back home.
Oh, Catch will definitely be sending a note.
Okay.
I presume Minnow left one before she disguised self and left.
Yeah.
Does Nero know any like senior citizens in Amberheart that like live on their own or kind of lonely and sad?
he does, yes.
Stop.
I
That's
feel
too
like
sweet.
Nero would just be like, I'm gonna write to Agnes and just write like a check-in, like, how's it going? Here, just so she has mail and so he can be included in the mail drop.
Did you die when time skipped forward?
Oh.
All right, very good. You have a letter to Agnes, who is now totally a person that exists in Amberheart, and always was.
Okay, so I will take the letters, find out where Agnes lives, and finish my drink and head on out.
Very good. Yeah, so you quickly make your way. Oh yeah, I made extra tokens for just this purpose. I forgot. Just in case we had a massive party split, because
We
pretty
would
sure we were
never.
going to.
I live for this. Make some
so-
other GM feel my pain.
You're up here.
Okay.
Uh,
So
you-
I would
Yeah,
go ahead.
How would you proceed?
I would first go to Ihei's establishment and we can see if he
Yes.
you said Ihei's
Dragonborn man.
Okay. Look and see to contact him.
Yeah, so you make your way along, and he's right off the main road, just a little bit up here, down this alley. And so you know him as a leather worker. He doesn't like specialize in armors or anything, but you have your family has contracted with him for sometimes doing some of the leather piecing under armor and stuff. And he's a affable older Dragonborn man. And yeah, you find his shop, and it's much quieter than usual, and you're hearing a lot more hammers in the crafters district than you're used to. You hear the sound of metal being beaten much more than you're used to. And Ihei's doors are closed. This is very unusual for him.
Closed as in the shop is closed?
Just like the doors, like literally the big double doors at the front of the store are closed too instead of open.
Okay.
And it's
I will
clearly
see if
business
they're
hours.
locked. Yeah, I'll see if they're locked and go on in.
Oh yeah, you try one on one side and it's locked. You try the other and that one's open, and you can head inside.
Yep, I will do that.
Yep, and you see sort of Ihei behind at one of his workbenches, and you can see him crafting what's pretty clearly a leather helmet. Like I said, this is unusual for him to be working on armor, and he sort of starts when he sees like, Ressa. Oh, good to see you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you there. What's going on? You seem a little jumpy.
Has news not reached Amberheart
Well,
then?
no, we just got into town and found out about the disappearances.
That's it. It's strange. No one is paying attention to it, not really. A little bit more since the poor girl disappeared from up in the castle district, but everyone's jumpy. No one's sure exactly how many are gone. But everyone's pretty sure that it's more and more people each night.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take a look and see what we can figure out. I do have a probably related question for you, and I'll show him the medallion and tell him about Dellen. That we've been
yeah.
traveling with Dellen. Do you know anything about Deephold at the moment? Have you heard anything from them?
You mention it. It was a little odd. They they've got a lot of different sorts up there, but a lot of them are more like Dellen than not. A little bit jumpy, a little bit odd. But they'd sent a letter over from Moontree with a request for a bunch of things that I'm not used to. Some armors and strange custom design things, like pouches, but very subdivided. Lots of little pockets, almost a honeycomb shape. It's very bizarre. And they sent it with a deadline for the order, and I made them up, but I needed further guidelines for the pockets. The diagrams that they sent weren't quite detailed enough, and I sent a message back through my usual channels, and I never heard back from them.
Okay. Because Dellen hasn't been able to contact them either. So this is
Concerning.
a concern. Did you hear about Amberheart?
Yeah, there was some news a little bit ago that a merchant group had been heading into town, and there was no one there. But then we'd had some news by a messenger bird that all was well. I didn't hear details, but it was announced in town that
Yeah,
the situation
that group
had been
was
resolved.
us, the Marauders, and the town had disappeared. We took care of it.
The town
But-
had disappeared.
The town had disappeared. Everyone in the town was gone, all at once. There was nobody there, and so I'll fill him in on what happened there. And so, we think that this is probably what's happening here is probably related, and that's why we're checking it out.
So have you ever been to Orkthon down in the south?
I don't know, have I?
You've passed through there a couple times, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I've passed through, but
Is
not-
it nice? My brother has some property down there, and I'm thinking it's about time to leave this place.
Yeah, I can't promise that it's going to be any different there, but follow your gut, right?
But I mean, an entire town disappeared, and now people here are this just doesn't seem to bode that great. Dellen's people are worried, and they're weird as hell. So
Yes, they
if
are.
they're worried, I feel like, and they're worried about something
Well-
sensible like this, it's very worrisome.
Yeah. Those pouches, did they seem possibly like magic component pouches, or?
Until the, I'm not sure. He sort of gropes around for some. I was like, here. It didn't have the second page, which I needed for some of the dimensions, but this was the design they gave me.
Okay. Can I tell anything by looking at it?
You don't necessarily use a component pouch yourself, but you would suspect that this would at least be one of the things this could be used for. It is very carefully subdivided. It's very clearly organized and designed to keep things separated inside it. And it's large enough and has it complicated enough that it would... it's meant to hold a lot of different types.
Okay. So, all right. Is there anything else you can tell me? You can think of?
No, I he's gonna sort of like look around. He's like, make sure that the door's closed. He sort of gestures you over.
I'll go closer.
Look, I don't know about this, but there's been some rumblings. Lots of people seem all kinds of riled up. Rumors of people of a bad sort getting more active, and on top of that, there's rumors that the circles are getting more active. And the circles you would know are the two main court factions.
Okay.
they exist under the monarchy. They both exist and serve the monarchy, but they normally jockey for power and influence, and they've been relatively stable for a while. And if they're kicking back up, that would be not great. They are the Circle of Blades and the Circle of Scribe.
Blades.
Yes, and as their names might suggest, one of them was more the clerical and bureaucratic side, and one of them were sort of the knights in this area. And that would mean really bad shit in the kingdom of Mech. If the circles are, especially if they are to the point where they might openly be going at each other. The last time that happened was centuries ago, and it was essentially a civil war.
But right now it's just rumblings, nothing overt.
Just rumblings. Lots of. Look, you probably know this. You might be Forian, but if you're prominent, you get asked to take a side. And what I've been hearing is those that did take sides get a little more coin, a little more patronage, etc. Those favors are getting called in. That's not the normal run of business.
That doesn't bode well. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You and your family have always been a good sort and thrown work to me, and just watch yourself out there. It's getting a little dicey.
Same for you. Yeah, same for you.
Maybe my brother.
Yeah, if we've got some letters that we'd like to get back to Amberheart. We took a bit longer than we had expected to get here. So do you know of anyone that's going out with a messenger that's going out in the next day?
Oh, towards Florian Way. Yeah, actually the armor is next to me. Has something here. I was gonna drop off a message for them. I can drop them off for you if you want.
Absolutely great. I really appreciate that. And I'll give them the ones except for the one for Agnes.
Okay.
You're not giving the one for Agnes?
No, because Agnes is in town, right?
No. Agnes is in Amberheart.
In Amberheart.
Oh, I was thinking Agnes was here and that I was going to take it to her.
Oh,
So
I was like,
I'll give
oh
them
god,
all.
that was brutal. Ressa's like, no.
No.
Agnes is Ressa's arch nemesis.
No. I love Agnes. She's a sweet old lady.
She makes really good pie.
Yeah, she does, especially the blueberry. But anyway, so I'll let him have the notes and probably just take my leave at that point. Go looking for Rance, was it?
Yeah, for Rance.
Okay.
That one is a little further in this way, more up to the north side of town. For this blacksmith, and this smithy is one of the larger ones. They have a lot of apprentices. They produce fine quality work, but it's closer to like mass production than it is the kind of very bespoke, very tailored work that your family has specialized in. So you know of them, and your family might even be perfectly friendly with them. It's not that you have like a rivalry or you look down on them, but like these are not necessarily people that you would have ordered something from the way you would Ihe.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, this time, unlike Ihe, the doors are just flung wide open. You can hear the roar of bellows and the forges going. The hammering is, even for you, almost deafening. There's people running back and forth with like loads of raw ore, ingots, finished work product. People are running everywhere.
Making weapons and armor, I'm assuming.
Yes, from what you can see, everything has been divided into essentially like one half of the yard is making chest plates, like very simple but functional, like half plate chest plates, and then the rest are making hammers, swords, very basic weapons.
Okay. I'll go up to someone that looks like an apprentice and ask where France is here.
some kind of joke. You're still muted. I saw you
Oh,
speak.
sorry, Rance is not here then. Oh no, don't tell me he's one of the disappeared.
You actually... Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. We just got into town. I didn't know.
Yeah. Look, I'm Jerry. It's... Yeah. Rance hasn't been in days. A couple of people went around. He's gone.
Oh,
None of his
I'm
stuff
so
is gone,
sorry.
so
Yeah.
we hoped he'd
And-
just run away, tried to get away. But yeah, no.
Okay. Wow. All right. Again, I'm really very sorry. Is there anything you can tell me about these disappearances? Do you know any details about what happened to him?
Rance was a friend. We started apprenticing at about the same time. We had the same overseer, so we spent a lot of time together. He was a good man. Sorry, good woman. She was a good woman. It was... Look, I was one of the group that went to check, and there was stuff in her room, like she'd just been there. Everything was normal. Look, I'm no, and he's gonna sort of like look you over with your like warhammer, your shield, your arm. He's like, I'm no fighter. I'm not like you. But I know what it looks like when a place has been tossed. This wasn't that. But
Okay.
it wasn't like she'd gotten grabbed off of the street either. There was half a plate of food still in the pan. There were laundry just in a basket waiting to get taken down for washing. It was like she walked out on just life.
Right. Just disappeared in the middle of what she was doing. Okay.
Yeah.
But ooh, that sounds like some of the other disappearances that have been talked about. Well, I'll let you know. We're taking a look into this, and some stuff like this kind of happened in Amberheart, and I won't tell him a lot of detail. I'll just say that there were some disappearances there, and that we managed to get that taken care of, and that we're gonna take a look at this too.
I hope you did. There's a lot of families missing people at this point.
We'll do what we can to get them back.
Very good.
Okay. And I'll let him know if he knows anybody that knows anything. They send them to us at the Tattooed Turtle. So if you find anyone with information, send them there.
All right. I appreciate that.
And then I'll take my leave.
Very good. Are you going to do anything else while you're up in the Crafters District, or would you just sort of, that's your main errand and you'll be heading back? This is a pretty big town, so it takes a little while to get through it. So
Yeah. I mean, I imagine I might just stop in and say hi to a couple of people that I know, but I wouldn't spend a lot of time.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you'll sort of, maybe as you're backtracking through, you would say that the tenor that you saw from Ihe is most of what you see here. Like shops that you're used to, just open doors, encouraging people to come in, place an order. Their doors are closed. Sometimes they're locked, but when you knock, they come and see you and open them. So everyone seems very nervous. No one's quite sure what's going on.
Okay.
And so that's very much the mood you get from the crafters district. You do also notice that anyone that can do anything related to sort of arms or armament is doing a lot more work. But it's not all of them. Like, some of them who are blacksmiths are behaving much more similarly. The doors are closed. And when you talk to one of them who's a family friend, he's focused in very fine custom arms and armaments, very similarly to your family.
Okay.
He'll actually be like, the ones who are busy, they're the ones involved with the circles. The orders are pouring in.
I see.
No one knows why. Plenty of people in the city are buying themselves blades too, but a lot of that you're seeing, especially in the big areas, that's the circles.
Ah, thank you for telling me that. I had assumed it was for people in the district and,
Some of it is,
regular people.
but it seems like a lot of that is being used as an excuse. They're not. But that's why it's not me. I produce nice
Special.
things.
Yeah.
Just limited things tailored to a person. I don't arm armies.
Right. This is concerning because I have heard about rumblings about the circles becoming more active. Do you know anything for sure? Any details that?
No. I've done my best to stay out of their view as best I can.
Oh, understandably. Yeah, always best to distance from that. All right. Well, it's good to see that you're here and well.
Hi, thank you. Keep well. Tell your mother hi.
Oh, I will do that. And
Tell your father he still owes me a drink.
I can buy that for you. We're staying at the Tattooed Turtle. If you want to come by and...
Might take you up on that during the daylight hours.
All right. Yeah, we'll be around. We'll be in town for a little bit. We're taking a look at what's happening here. We're a little worried. So, yeah. And if he doesn't really have any more detail, I'll again take my leave.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, and then you can be making your way back to the Tattooed Turtle, and then I have to
Sounds good.
process who should go next. Anyone in particular want to go next?
So I'll speak at once.
It doesn't matter to me. Whatever people prefer.
Let's do it. I'll go.
I'm gonna step away for a second. Sorry, I'll be
Sure.
right back.
All right, so you and Dylan leave the turtle, and he's sort of looking around somewhat furtively, carrying a piece of pineapple, sort of nibbling on it. So, he also keeps looking at his hand for some reason. Yes, we should go speak to my contact. Hopefully that will go smoothly, and maybe he has information for us.
And what is your contact's name?
Fantril.
Fantril. Okay.
You very much know this name? This would be the sort of premier fishing gear supplier in the docks.
Wait, you know Fantril? He's my man. He's got all the good stuff. He's got big lures. He's got flashing lures. Oh man, I'm so excited. Yeah, let's absolutely go. Up until this point, mind you, Dent was like kind of nervously twisting his pinky that converts into a fishing rod because he was like really hoping to go fishing, but like was kind of dejectedly aware that wasn't going to happen. But now he's totally fine. So yeah, he's like giddy now at this point.
Yeah, so you well know. Would you have gone into Ventral's store before?
In my head, I was thinking like Dent would have mostly stuck to like the outdoor
Market
kind
as
of
opposed to
bizarre.
sort of yeah, and that's what I'd been thinking, but I wasn't sure.
But I feel like if he was the premier guy, then I would have to know him, or at least know of
You would
him.
certainly know of him, yes. He runs a store that's very large, typically very busy with the fishing fleets. But yeah, Dallin will sort of pick his way through the streets. And you're sort of, I imagine you walking along, speaking very excitedly about lures and fishing rods and all of these wonderful products. And he's sort of like, yes, I see.
And the bait, oh my gosh, he has such an immense selection of baits. Like, wow. I've
Got all those little tiny fish eggs that look like little balls. He's got that rainbow paste that you take and smush onto it.
And he's got nets and he's got lines and oh man, it's just heaven.
We
Heaven on tier.
different ideas about what constitutes heaven, but I'm glad you're excited. Yes, here we are. And he'll sort of knock on the door. Look confused for a second. It appears that there's no one here.
Well, that didn't seem like much of a knock. And then Dent goes up.
Are you trying to break down the door or just knock on the door?
Knock harder.
Okay. Yeah, there's no response.
Oh, well, this was disappointing. Does there appear to be like any lights on inside or anything?
You can see it's a 2-story building, and you can see there are some lights on the 2nd floor.
I don't suppose that we could just go, like, I don't know. We can't like sneak in, can we? It's the middle of the day. That would be unwise, don't you think?
Let's see. There's normally a staircase to get to his apartments, and he sort of walks around the corner and he's like, yes, there seems to be a staircase here. Perhaps we can, you can try to knock on that door?
Well, he is your contact, so if this goes awry, I'm probably throwing you under the bus. And then Den just walks forward and up the stairs.
The bottom stairs. Firm hand. Firm hand. He'll toddle up the stairs after you.
And I guess before I knock, I know perception is not my strong suit, but I think I would like to just kind of roll to kind of peer inside and just see what I might be able to see without actually, opening the door. So like if there's like a window or anything.
Yeah.
On this level.
There's a small window basically set into the door. It's not quite a peephole. It's a little bigger than that. You can try to peer into that.
I really enjoy that anytime Sam looks anywhere, he's always looking like at extremely high angles and then very far down. I just imagine it's like projected across his entire wall and he just has to look everywhere to see what he's doing.
Yep.
No, it was the 18. Not the unnatural one. 18 perception. You can, as you sort of are trying to peer in. You can't see very well, but you can pretty clearly hear people moving around. It sounds like probably 3 sets of footsteps. Maybe 2. It's a little hard to tell.
Well, it sounds like there's people here. How about I'm your bodyguard and you knock again this time?
That seems like a good suggestion, and is basically the truth. There's a sort of long pause. Who is it? Naturally, it's Dylan. Oh, yeah, come in. And you hear a lock go, and another lock, and then the door opens, and you see a man that you recognize from sort of the fishing markets. It is Fantril. He sort of beckons. Oh, who's the big one? It is my bodyguard, who I must treat with a firm hand.
Oh no.
I'm loving it.
Fantril, I'm your biggest fan in the literal and figurative sense.
I don't really know how to process the things that are happening. Come on in. And yeah, Dylan will sort of bundle his way in. There's a woman in the back preparing some food, and a small child, a young boy, is running around, which would be presumably why you kind of thought you heard 3 sets of footprints, but you weren't entirely sure.
Fantril, I need to know, how did you come up with the Masturbator 3000?
Yeah, how?
No, just
Sandro, how did you do that?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Very
I need to know.
What type of lube did you use on that ball bearing?
I love the fact that as I heard Sam complete that line, I managed to get my eyes over to the cameras just in time to see all the different reactions.
All the
Chris
little
just
green
hitting the
boxes
deck.
pop around all of us as our mute buttons come off and we're preparing our responses.
Wait, we need to pause. There's kitty time.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
He's gonna start. To be clear, marketing came up with the name for that one. But I just try to think. Surely this is not why you're here, Dylan. There are people disappearing. I haven't heard from anyone on Moontree in a week.
Oh, this is certainly why I am here.
For the masturbator.
I see what you mean about the firm hand now. There. But Dylan is...
Firm hand for the one obsessed with the masturbator. Oh.
Firm hand for the masturbator.
I know. I have to. I have to play the cards I'm dealt. But so he and Dylan are sort of gonna settle down and talk. I haven't heard anything from Moontree in a week more. And surely you've heard about this. Why else would you need a bodyguard? And Dylan's just sort of trying. Everything seems to be going a bit oddly. Do you have any more information that perhaps is not fully fishing related? And Fentril's goes, disappearances, bad shit.
Do you happen to know what the Marauders did in Amberheart? Because that's some pretty cool information, I think.
We'd heard that there was some kind of strange circumstance that the people seemed to be gone, and then we had a report a bit later that the situation had been resolved. That was...
And that was us. That's right. Not the first part, the second part.
So you're not responsible for the disappearance of an entire town? It's comforting. Are you?
Yep, I'm not responsible for that.
Do you want to, Dylan? Do you want to go down to one of the mercenaries guilds? We can, comparison shop.
We're dead.
But it's funny that you should. It's funny that you should ask about information that wasn't fishing related. I've heard from some of the fishermen that they've been seeing strange lights from out by Moontree, but since people haven't been hearing from them, they don't want to go close. Everyone's very spooked. They go out, they do their fishing runs, and then they head back. But something strange is happening out on that island.
Strange lights. This sounds familiar, and Dent literally scratches his head, and then he's like, "Oh wait, I've had strange lights happening to me. What color are the strange lights that you've heard reported?"
All types, actually. That's one of the things that's strange about it. White and red and yellow and green and blue.
And for me, I thought it was mostly just like a white light that was emanating, or was it a prismatic? Okay.
It seemed more like white silver. Somewhere in that range.
All right. Well, that doesn't quite sound like the lights going on around me, but still seems quite interesting. And people would just see these lights and then be about their business and just ignore them. Is that what's been happening?
The disappearances, with the fact that no one's really heard much from Moontree, we don't have the people to spare here. The garrison is just trying to keep order in the city, and not like a fisherman really wants to, risk themselves going out there. It seems to occur mostly in the evening. Most of the time the fishers see it, it's when they're coming home with their catches, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know. I don't have much experience with that kind of thing.
Would you be so kind as to perhaps point me in the direction where the lights were originating from exactly?
From what I know, the fishermen that I've spoken to, they were mostly on the southern coast of Moontree.
Okay. And would Dent know anything specific about that area of Moontree?
Given that it's the village there is a fishing village, you're probably pretty informed about it generally. That would be a little bit odd because the village is on the sort of western side of the island. So that shouldn't really be the populated coast. Now, I mean, also, it's not like green lights would be normal for just a settlement out here or anything. So it's already weird, but like there shouldn't be a lot of people on that part of the island.
Outside of the fishermen. Well, I mean, so you said that there's like a fishing community there, but would it be normal for people from, Tormanrile to be fishing down there? Like, is that like a commercial fishing spot?
The lake itself is a bit of a commercial fishing spot, but probably not in that close. They seem to be describing it as being like right on the coast of the island.
The lights are right on the coast?
Yeah. Like they might be coming from the island or like just offshore of the island.
Interesting. Dylan, do you happen to have any contacts from that village that we might be able to reach out to or or do you think it might just be worthwhile having all of us go and see what we can see?
Give me a quick insight check. $18. At the mention of the south side of the island, Dellen seems visibly shaken.
Dellen, are you okay? I mean, I know you're normally a little bit skittish, a lot of bit skittish, but this seems abnormally so.
Yes, yes. Just there's a lot going on right now. I think that we need to learn more about what's going on, both here and on Moontree Isle. I don't know if they're connected, but I'm worried about stumbling into this if they in fact are.
Yeah, I guess to me, it just, like, I'm stricken by the fact that a lot seems to be happening all at once, right? So maybe casting a wide net is the correct course of action here, and just trying to figure out, well, I mean, if we investigate just one thing, it's probably going to lead us to something else anyway, so maybe just trying to get a good sense of what all is actually happening might provide us some clarity as to what specifically might be a cause of it.
When you made the comment of the cast a wide net, Fantrel nodded approvingly. Yes, I think that there's. I'm concerned. I'm concerned that there seems to be so much going on all at once with these disappearances and he sort of rolls his eye up at Fantrel. The business
Pineapples.
Of the church and the pineapples. The world is big and complicated, but I can't quite believe that there's no connection between these things. Look, perhaps we should get back to the others and see what they've found. And from there we can try to determine if further courses of action are required.
Sure, but like, we're not gonna just leave where we're at. I mean, look, it's the guy.
Yes, this is my contact, Fantrel.
You speak of him as though he's just a contact, Fantrel. I think we should go back, but I think I've successfully, pacified the whims of Nero, and I've waited long enough. It has been so long. Like, just habitually, I unscrew my pinky, and
So weird. Can Dellen do it?
Fantrel, what would you suggest for this rod?
Well, are you river fishing, lake fishing?
Well, it seems like we're going to be on the lake for a while, so lake fishing feels most appropriate.
Yes, and he's going to sort of wander over and sort of be moving some things through a shelf. Here you are. This is a nice assortment. Does fairly well with most of the things that you find in this area.
And I don't know how much gold I have, or silver, or whatever.
If he sees you reaching for, he says, "Oh, no worries. It's Dylan. It's the same one that I gave you a while back. This is the same set."
Dylan, you've been holding out on me.
Have I? What are we? Firm hand. Let's go back and talk to the others.
It is the utmost show of restraint that I am not showing you a firm hand, Dylan, right now. The utmost.
Yes, I understand the threat now. Please don't hit me.
And I crack the 3 remaining knuckles on my hand, and just as like a small little taunt, but also to relieve some stress
What's
that has been
cracking?
building up. It's a good question.
I'm like, are you shattering the fingers of your gauntlet?
Just, just not oiled.
Attaches. Sorry, I think the joint just temporarily dislocates and then reattaches.
Okay, that's firm hand. Firm hand. Minnow told me.
All right, okay. Just let me make this purchase, and
Again, it's really
and then we
okay.
can
You
go
don't
back.
have to purchase them. Consider them a gift. Any friend of Dellen's is always welcome here.
Oh boy.
Problem.
Can I get an autograph?
Sure. Let me. He's gonna like sort of go to a desk and sort of like pull out a quill and an inkwell. Writes his name on a piece of paper, hands it to you.
Well, I mean, you should autograph the set, but this works too. And I
He's
tuck it in.
he's gonna sort of. It's like a small wooden box, and it's a quill. So he's sort of like scratch. There's just sort of this messy sort of pool of ink on top of the box. There you
It's
go.
perfect. Yes.
Seriously, Dylan, there's a mercenaries guild just like 3 blocks down. You're just in and out. Won't
He doesn't need a mercenary. He has money.
unhinge his fingers at you. How did you do that without immense injury? Okay. With Dylan, people with Dylan are weird. It's fine. It's fine.
That we are. But thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back and show the other Marauders. Oh, this is gonna be so great. Fantro, I will absolutely come back and see you again when the rest of your shop downstairs is open. And normally I try to refrain from these social interactions for obvious reasons. And then I kind of lift open my thing, and there's nothing there.
Totally not terrifying.
All right, Dylan, time to go.
Dent's making friends.
Is he? Is he though?
He's trying
Real hard.
That's actually like he's making a connection with a person in a way that like Nero would be proud.
Very good.
Yes.
You all head out of the shop. I suspect you repeatedly showing Dylan your 2 autographs. one of which, like I said, is basically just a pool of ink on top of this small wooden box. And I was like, yes, that was very, very good.
But did you see his hand do it? It was like a master crafter. Oh my gosh. I just... Whew. Okay. All right. Calm down, Dan. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Very good.
You know what we should do sometime, Dylan? We should go fly fishing.
Does that involve actual flying?
The fish, they're the ones that fly. We just need a boat.
Okay. Okay. That seems much easier then. Yes, that sounds fun.
Okay, good. Awesome.
I like that
All of
Dylan
this
has agreed to go.
conversation as somebody that has fished a lot in my life. I'm just so like, so everything's so wrong. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just like, no, wait, that's not okay. It's fine.
I loved it.
No,
The
I
fish
know.
fly.
I'm just being.
I
mean.
know.
Anyway,
I know.
I interrupted you, Galway.
You're fine. So yeah, you can pretty easily make your way back. It's a couple blocks for you guys to get back. And let's go to Minnow looking like Arden.
Okay. How long does it take to walk from the tattooed turtle to the light in the dark?
Oh, that's not very long at all. Probably about like half an hour, especially if you're trying to go somewhat subtly or quietly. You're just like beelining it along main roads, a bit shorter.
Okay. Because I have disguised self up and that's an hour, so I don't. Okay, yeah, I'll.
You could probably beeline it there in about 15 minutes, but you'd be kind of.
Right, just like.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd kind of be jogging down the main road.
Defeat the purpose of the whole like subterfuge. So, yeah, I think okay. I'll take my time and go a little more stealthily. Not like super stealthy. I'm not trying to like sneak around and be completely unseen, but more just kind of.
If you were just going directly and quickly, it's probably only about 20 minutes.
Okay,
If you
yeah,
but as long as you're comfortable with using main roads, moving pretty quickly, you're not running or anything.
Right.
But,
yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah. So I get there in 20-ish. And I guess like I want to keep a pretty careful eye on the streets as I'm going to see if anyone's taking interest in Minnow looking like Arden. And also just kind of as a note, like that I would be very cognizant and trying to like keep really close track of like when the spell would wear off so that I would have time to, if necessary, find a place to recast it in a timely manner.
so you're kind of trying to keep a warning in your head for 55 minutes.
Yeah,
say.
exactly. So that I can be like, you know what? Gotta run to the bathroom. And then
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, so not just enough to be like, I have 6 seconds to cast this, but extricate yourself from a situation
Yes,
in a
to
non-suspicious
hide
way.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Yes,
get
yes,
yourself to a hiding spot. Very good. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Go ahead and give me a perception check. And if Finch is above you,
totally.
then you can have advantage with that.
Sweet.
They can be helping you out.
22.
Very nice. So yeah, you're being very careful. Finch is kind of, this is a protocol that you've worked out with Finch long previous of like, check to see if someone is watching me. Don't watch me, watch for people watching me. Nothing seems to arouse your suspicions. Again, you notice there are more guards on the street. Certainly than there would be. You, even again in this brief space, you pass by 2 full patrols, where you would normally think it would be quite normal to not pass any. Like, you might pass one, but it wouldn't be weird to not, and like, they're very clearly being spaced in time and sort of distance, so that there's basically always going to be an armed guard presence within a few blocks.
Okay. I will when I get to the light in the dark. I mean, it's kind of like a known, like the city's worst kept secret kind of thing that this is like a criminal bar, right?
It is It is certainly a place that it is known that illegal things happen in, and generally it has maintained its status by it keeps its own rules. It is unaffiliated. You do not kill people on its grounds. And it is kind of an equal opportunity. It is considered very bad form, for example, to tail someone through it. The inn itself and the staff will frustrate any attempts that they see that, because this is kind of viewed as you are on neutral ground. You damn well behave yourself when you're in the light and the dark. Arguably, the person who most frequently does not behave themselves in the light and the dark and is still breathing is Nero, who does not follow any of the rules of what you're supposed to do.
Know that there's a bunch of like rules. Yeah. Okay. I know thieves can't, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's not just spoken, but also a system of like signs and symbols, right?
A lot of sigils so that you can leave things of like valuable mark, dangerous, stuff like that.
I guess as I'm walking, can I just kind of keep an eye out and see if any sigils or signs like catch my eye as like something out of the ordinary that I think might be related to the disappearances and all that, or the increased activity of guards?
Yeah. You don't notice a lot. You see some that you even remember from sort of your time starting to work along the docks district, of like, you know, the west gate is broken on this warehouse, and you can actually see that rune is like now scratched through. But
they fixed it.
Yeah, apparently they fixed it. But there's not a lot of new information or anything beyond that kind of humdrum general criminal underworld stuff.
Okay. All right, then I will leave Finch to kind of keep an eye outside the light and the dark. The intention being that Finch would get a message to me. They can kind of telepathically communicate with me, right? So at any point that Finch notices something that he thinks I should see, he could send me a message or whatever. Or like tell me telepathically, I believe.
Yeah, technically the way the spell is written, you can communicate with it telepathically. So it has to be within 100 feet of you, but I would certainly rule, if you gave Finch the command, keep an eye out and
stay within 100.
And if you see something, like land on the roof and
and like tell me, and like the purpose being like stay pretty close, right? Like circling this area, kind of keeping a low profile, just kind of roost somewhere and keep an eye out for, you know, moving around every now and then, make sure that like you know, pineapples aren't coming on, you know, en masse to wait for me outside or something.
Just picturing like the fruit sort of rolling up, waves of the fruit bouncing forward.
Have you guys, did we talk about this last week, how pineapples grow? Have you seen pineapple bushes? You should Google it because it's fucking weird. They just grow on top of bushes.
It's very weird.
It's very weird. Okay, so I will go in. I will step in and I will look around. Do I see anyone I know?
So you would know that as you step in, you'll be in a long, very narrow corridor that sort of twists through the building, that ends in sort of the middle with a small kiosk, sort of, that has a small window and beneath it a hatch, and you can see a shadowy figure inside, but you cannot see their appearance. You know that you can either give them money, and then they will give you a room, or you can speak the passphrase, the riddle with no answer, and they will open the door to the bar.
Okay. I will approach and, imitating Arden, say, the riddle with no answer.
Sort of, there's no perceptible movement, but you just hear a door on the left wall sort of swings open.
I wink and, is it normal to tip? Toss a silver.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be pretty normal.
Okay.
Yeah, so you step inside the riddle, or you step inside the bar with no name.
There's one of those on the hill in Boulder.
Yep, there's one of those a lot of places, and I just wanted to lean into that that imagery
Yeah.
for light in the dark. But
I love it.
an
Now, is there
Eldrin,
anybody I know? Yeah.
an Eldrin, the barkeep is an Eldrin individual, Dara, and they keep an eye on basically everything that is happening. You know better than to screw with them. They're quite nice and quite polite. They are also very weird. They will only accept payment in platinum coins. Their assistant will make change for you, but they only accept payment in platinum coins. This is not a bar with no name policy. This is Dara's policy.
Okay.
And then in the rest of the room, you can see the sort of usual collection of ne'er-do-wells up to socialite criminals, you know, the sort of the range that you would expect in this particular location.
Do I know, is Arden relatively friendly with Dara? Or is Dara not like the type that has like...
Dara knows everybody who's in their bar, and as long as they have no reason to think that you're screwing around with the bar or breaking the rules or anything, they're going to be decently well disposed.
Okay, and what is the general feel on asking questions about, like, gathering information at the bar? Not necessarily about other people in the bar or even other patrons who might come and go from the bar, but things like Arden approaching Dara and being like, some weird shit's going on, people after my wife, like, curious what's happening, if you've heard anything.
And you have basically, by natural instinct, fallen into exactly the right way to do that here.
Okay.
Do not inquire about patrons. Do not inquire about information that Dara or one of the patrons might know because they're in the bar. And buy a goddamn drink first. That's just kind of the rule. So then you can sit and you can kind of have your conversation with Dara. Dara is an information broker.
Okay.
They expect kind of a tip, but outside of that, don't ask about the workings of the inn or the bar. Don't ask about stuff that's in here. Don't be trying to tail someone, but you can certainly ask all kinds of questions about what's going on.
Yes. Okay. Can I reverse change? Can I give 10 gold and get a platinum piece?
Yeah. That's
okay.
There's a human woman, Navir, who's like the assistant bartender, and that's the primary thing she does.
Okay. I wasn't sure because you said they give you change, but I'm like, does that mean like when I pay with a platinum, they'll give me the gold back?
No, you can kind of pay the difference, or like you can, pay the amount and then they'll fork over the payment and give you change. It is an insanely complicated system that
Sure. Yeah.
No one seems
okay,
to
I
question.
imagine it's been a little while since Arden or Minnow has been here.
Probably, yeah. Certainly for Arden, it's probably been a while.
Yeah, and it's the human assistant is Navir. Okay, I will go over to Navir and place 10 gold in front of her. That's the exchange rate, right? 10 gold, 1 platinum.
I believe so, but now
I
can't remember because I rarely
I'm pretty sure it's
have
all
it.
just 10s.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I slide 10 gold over.
It's Electrum.
Navir,
Electrum is the weird one.
Yeah, is the weird one in the middle. Yeah, I slide over the gold and say, Navir, it's been a minute. How are you?
Doing quite well. Somewhat busy. People
Is
are
it busy?
disappearing.
Yes. The disappearance is quite interesting. Certainly strange. Is your business picking up because of the
I wouldn't say
hubbub in the city?
I wouldn't say it's picking up, but people are generally in favor of a safe place to drink.
Always. I assume she's handed my platinum over.
Yep. She slides you a platinum.
Okay, I slide a silver. Is that an okay tip?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I slide her a silver.
Appreciate it.
And appreciate you. Spending so much money, y'all. Okay. Okay, and I head over to Dara and I order does Dara make house infused cocktails much like the No Name Bar in Boulder?
So there's sort of two ways that you can order from Dara. You can either do, yeah, something like that, so very, very high-end cocktails, or you can just give them the coin and just let them pick. And sort of, sometimes they'll ask you questions about, like, how's your day going, or if they've never met you before, what kind of things do you like? They're in Eldrin, so this is one of the elves that's sort of been touched by Feywild magic and reflects the seasons in their appearance, and they're currently in their spring form. So you can see like little like flower buds erupting from like behind their ears.
Okay. I will I will sit near Dara. Is the bar area like pretty full or pretty empty?
Pretty empty. Generally,
okay, so like people are at like tables and things.
Generally the bar is viewed as Dara's office. So you sort of go get a drink and then go sit.
Yes.
Unless you're doing something like this.
Got it. Okay. So I sit down and I slide the platinum over. And I say, love the spring look today, Dara. Just very on point, artistic. I'll have to incorporate some of the lines in my work.
Pardon, it's been a bit since I've seen you.
It has. It's been a long time. Have you seen Minnow lately?
No.
No. Yeah, no, that's okay. I saw her recently. I was just wondering if she'd been in. Just make me whatever. I think I'll trust what your nose for a good drink today.
They're sort of going to go over and start pulling down bottles. Given that you're still sitting there, I assume you have some requests to go with your drink?
I do. In fact, it's about Minnow, kind of. Some people came by our house in Amberheart, and Minnow was out, but I was not. I think they might be affiliated, and I kind of lean in and quietly mention that they're affiliated with the Shadow Hand. Have you, perhaps, in the interest of protecting my wife, I was wondering if you'd heard anything that might be related to why they might be looking for her?
Sort of as they're, mixing things into sort of a equivalent of a cocktail shaker, you're going to see them stop and look at you. Look. Forget. Is it you that likes licorice, or is that Minnow?
Is it me or is it Minnow? Is it Minnow or is it Arden?
It is Minnow who likes licorice.
Okay. Minnow, I can't stand the stuff.
Right. I knew it was one of those.
Do Eldrin have true sight?
And they're just going to go back to mixing, and you see them like put back a bottle when you say that and pull down another one and shake and point out. Yes.
Minnow's a little bit crying inside because the licorice drink she was pumped for.
The Shadow Hand has been very active of late. You say they are interested in Minnow.
Yes, they said when they took something from our house and said to me that they would be seeing Minnow soon, which I found quite distressing. You might understand why.
Of course. They finish pouring and sort of take the drink, put a cherry on top of it. There you are. Yes. I have not heard anything about them targeting Minnow in particular. I do have those adventurers that she travels with.
Yes, the Marauders.
Marauders. Yes.
Hmm.
Reports are unclear on the names sometimes. Yes. They seem to have taken an interest in the group as a whole.
Oh, okay.
I had not heard anything about Minnow in particular, though, but I believe they put out a contract for Marauders a bit ago. Though they do want to keep them alive, so that's a comfort. Probably.
Probably. Are they very active in town? I've noticed a great increase in the presence of guards, and I take a sip of the drink. I presume it's delicious.
It is very, very good. It also tastes exactly like something Arden would love.
Yeah, I'm inside Minnow is just like, if only Arden were here to drink this, but just kind of sips it and appreciates it for what it is. Mental note to tell Arden all about it when she gets home. So I've noticed, this is amazing, by the way, exactly what I was looking for. You really have a way with the bottles. But there's such an increase of guards around.
Oh, yes, them. That's from the disappearances.
Have those disappearances started 10 days ago? Is that what I heard?
Yes, that is at least the public story. Certain sources a bit more closely placed to me have suggested that they began at least 5 days before that, but the numbers were smaller then.
I'm going to quickly do the math back in my head. Is that when we stopped the disappearances in Amberheart? 15 days?
Pretty close.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Because in Amberheart, there were disappearances, I presume you heard.
Yes. The
I
entire
was
town,
one
I
of the
believe.
ones disappeared, in fact.
Yes, of course you were.
Insight. Does she know, or do they know that I'm Minnow? Oh, no. Of course. That's a critical fail,
That's a
ladies and
critical fail,
gentlemen.
everybody. Just as a quick reminder, because it's been a little bit since we...
Yeah, I have inspiration.
Well, it's been a little bit since we played, and also just as a note, as a house rule, I treat a critical fumble on a skill check as being essentially DM's choice. I can treat that as absolutely, totally, they get the wrong sense of things. I can treat it like a sort of normal miss, they just muddle through, or I can treat it as a nat 20, and I will give them incredibly keen insight into what is going on. All the player has to go on is what I say and how certain I say they feel about that.
Cool.
You are almost certain that Dara has seen through you. They are a bartender for assassins and thieves, and they're very good at what they do, and what they do is primarily read people and gather information. So you're sort of going through in your mind, and as good as you are, your primary thing you do is not impersonating people, so maybe you slipped on a mannerism or etc. But you're pretty sure they know. They also do not seem inclined to say anything about that. But
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I really
Great,
wish
okay.
now that Nero had cast Disguise Self and come along with you and tried to pretend to be somebody else in front of her.
So it'd be
It would
so
have been
bad.
so bad.
I mean, it
really
might have
wish that you had gone in
distracted from-
posing as Minnow and both of you tried to fool them.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. I'm gonna a little shamefully hide my face, take another sip. But I was asking about the disappearances. What we asked if they knew about the disappearances in Amberheart. Oh, and the question though was, do we think that the Shadow Hand are quite active around town or less active around town, given that the guards, the increased presence of the guards?
I do not believe that the Shadow Hand's activities are tied to the armor-suited rabble.
Yes, fuck those guys.
They are responding to the disappearances the only way they know how, by protecting the wealthier quarters and marching around a lot through this area. No, the Shadow Hand has been more active, but I do not think it is related to it.
So, like, say the Marauders were in town and walked from the outskirts of the Merchant District gate to the Tattooed Turtle, just for shits and giggles, you know, hypothetical.
Like they did earlier today.
Yes. Do you suppose, besides you and your impressive network of eyes and ears, that the Shadow Hand would also be aware of such movement?
They'll sort of give you a slight bow and
Yes,
then
that's
start polishing
quite what I thought too.
the bar a little bit. It is certainly possible. They have many eyes and ears, though I think that as much as they are looking for them, they seem a bit distracted. Moment.
Distracted by what?
Also, to
Experiences.
respond to the question in the chat, I was kind of thinking we would wrap it up after the one-on-ones. So, and you can also feel free to step away. I need to grab a drink or something. You're going to see Dara sort of pause as they're wiping the bar. I fear I am not at liberty to...
Understood. Could you point me in the direction of a person who might be at liberty to say?
Well, there are the operatives of the Shadow Hand themselves. They probably know why they're distracted. If you get sufficiently high up the food chain, anyway.
Or just sufficiently high?
Possibly. One never knows.
I feel like I've definitely played my hand now. They don't know it's Minnow. Things Arden would never say. Top of the list. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, I know that the Marauders are trying to do something about the disappearances. And I know, I suppose at this point, pretty much everybody has felt some kind of impact from those disappearances happening. If you know of information or who to talk to or who might have information for us, I just shrug. I've given up thinking. My fumble. I'm so sure. It'd be very sad if they don't actually think that I'm Minnow, and I'm just like, now I've played my hand. But
They'll sort of nod.
they can talk to the Marauders at the Tattooed Turtle. Or perhaps you could point me again if you know of, or if you yourself have information.
Yes. That, if anyone comes with a request for information related to these and inquiring as to someone who wishes to help, then I take it that I have your permission to point them to the Marauders, that this is not privileged information?
I mean, the Shadow Hand, I would certainly
only those
appreciate
interested
not.
in seeking the cause of the disappearances and requesting aid with
Yes.
that, not those merely seeking the Marauders.
Yes, I do appreciate that as the safety of my wife and her friends. Matters quite a lot to me. Yes, thank you very much, Dara.
Of course, here. Anything else?
Am I missing anything obvious to ask about from the crew? I'm just thinking. No, I think I might continue. I might maybe see if I can find some high friends, if you know what I mean.
Would you perhaps want to ask about Deephold?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So rewind that a moment and just say, yeah. Just one last question. Have you heard any news from Moontree Isle?
Yes, that is quite shuffle as they all run back and forth to protect their. Well, we worry about disappearances here when Fire Island has gone dark for. No word in or out, save for the fact that no word is getting in or out. And I say that with the confidence of someone who was here a while ago, went to investigate, and I haven't heard from him since.
I'm really curious as to who he was.
Was it someone who worked for you?
I am afraid I am not at liberty.
Fair. Well, I don't know. Maybe something can be done. Something was done in Amberheart. Maybe something can be done here.
Indeed. Here. And they're gonna, like, as they've stopped polishing the barn for a while, they've been fixing something into sort of a small, like, flask. Like, here, perhaps something for the road for you. When you feel a bit more like yourself. And they're gonna sort of fold it into a cloth and hand it.
Okay. I'll take it. And
It's gonna be a licorice drink, you know.
It's gonna be licorice.
it's gonna be licorice or a
Absolutely.
licorice drink. Okay. Yeah, I will nod my thanks and stand up and not return to Navir for any change. And leave. Leave. There's no one else that I recognize or feel in the bar.
Not really. No one that either Arden, as far as you know, or Minnow has any particular association.
Okay.
And no one who seemed to recognize you upon walking in.
Okay. Then I am going to leave. I will duck out. How long did that take me?
All told, you're probably about 45 minutes in.
And how long do I think I have until... Did we say what time we were gathering again at the Tattooed Turtle? Just when our...
It was just sort of generally when people were done with stuff.
Okay. I will find a dark corner and I will cast Disguise Self just to look like a random dock worker.
Okay.
And I will walk through the docks district kind of towards the... what is it called? Outside... over here on the map where I'm clicking by the Pineapples Den. I don't want to go to the Pineapples Den. I'm probably only going to make it like this far. I'm just going to walk through the docks district kind of in this direction for like 20 minutes and keep an eye out and see if I can clock any pineapples.
Give me a perception check with advantage if you've still got fit.
Yeah, totally. And I'll look at what Dara gave me. Is it licorice or a licorice drink?
It is a small flask. If you open up the flask, it is in fact the drink you just had in the bar with one of the liqueurs switched out for licorice liqueur this time. And as you go to sort of wrap it up again, you can see in impeccable handwriting on the inside of one of the flaps is Malanai Dagar's family. Docks District, 3rd Ward.
Excellent. am I walking towards the third ward as I'm doing this anyway?
The third, kind of, but the third ward is actually the one that's like right on the docks in the far east.
Okay.
Corner.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go that far without backup. And so I will just do my original plan and keep the note tucked safely in a pocket and look for 18.
You certainly see some people who have training in doing sneaky bad things who are keeping an eye out, but you're not sure if they are affiliated with the Pineapples or a street gang or who. But there are definitely some people, and they're kind of on alert. And that, should I say this? That fits with if you were thinking, hey, there are random disappearances and everyone is amped up to basically 11 and we were still running with a gang here. That could be me standing on a street corner.
Right.
Looking much like that.
And so, I mean, like, the Shadow Hand doesn't have any type of, like, insignia. Like, 'cause, I mean, a lot of street gangs, like, you know, mark territory or mark selves with, like, insignia or signs. And, like, where I'm not seeing that.
But the thing that you would also know is that the Shadow Hand sometimes just owns those gangs. So they can tag it with whatever the hell they want. The Shadow Hand knows that the Shadow Hand owns that.
Okay, then I'm going to look for, among those people, some youngish looking kid who kind of, in some way, reminds me of me when I was that dumb, stupid teenager.
Yeah, you find a kid who's very clearly trying to go for like the super stealthy, like master of burglary, etc. And it's working really badly because he's just wearing solid black armor and like a massive cape with a cowl, and like it's the middle of the fucking day in the docks district, and he's just like sort of like standing on a corner pointedly looking at absolutely nothing.
Okay. Can I sleight of hand see if I can untie his cowl and like make it fall off his...
Absolutely.
Okay. 21. So glad that worked.
21. You just sort of, you see him on this corner and like so pointedly staring at nothing that you know he's keeping watch on anything except what he's looking for. So you basically walk directly at him. And then just like as you're going by, just like pull a string easily and like the cloak, you oh god, oh god, oh god.
I laugh a little, and is Thieves' Cant also spoken, or is it only like the signs and symbols?
That's also spoken.
Okay, so in Thieves' Cant, I'm going to say, "You're too obvious, kid. What have you seen?"
I'm just. He's in Thieves' Cant, stammering out an apology in Thieves' Cant. Like, I'm just minding my own business here, just looking at the. Shit, that was Thieves' Cant.
Focus here.
Fuck.
Look. Yes.
What? Yeah.
Because we're on the same side. We work for the same people. And I wink, and I say, I'm just teaching you a little lesson. You got to keep your eyes moving. Eyes moving. Okay. Got it? Eyes moving.
Go ahead, give me a deception check.
Okay, great. Oh, I rolled twice, sorry. 13.
I got eyes moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, eyes moving. Great. What have you seen? When's your report due? Just talk to me about what the process is. This is a quiz. Let's go. Come on.
We switch shifts every 5 hours. We don't keep the same place 2 shifts in a row. I like this one because it's got a lot of shade. This armor's really, really warm.
Yeah, don't wear the black, okay? Like, look at what I'm wearing.
But it looks...
Look at what I'm wearing. Did you think anything about me when I walked straight at you and untied your hood?
That was
There's
you?
a reason. I'm just
Oh, you went. Oh,
okay.
makes
Yeah.
sense
You're
now.
a snapper,
Yeah.
huh?
Yep. Okay. This minnow is. Listen, minnow gotta do what minnow gotta do. Okay. Good.
Incidentally, you
Um,
still look like a dock worker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh,
look at what
good.
I'm wearing, and it's just like
Yeah.
dock worker.
Exactly. Fucking exactly. We're in the docks. You should look like a dock worker. Okay. I kind of nod, say, and put the cloak back on his shoulders and kind of pat him and say, like, okay, all right, you got the plan down. Listen, things are getting rough. Trying to think, what's the angle here? Things are getting rough, and we all know that everybody needs all the help they can get right now. Have you heard anything from about the Marauders? Didn't they get in town? I thought I heard they came in today.
The who?
Hmm.
No. Why did Jarell say something to you about people?
Yep. Anyway, keep a tight watch, kid. And I start heading back. I don't have time with my disguise.
Bye. It's just like,
And eventually I'll duck into a corner before my hour is up and drop the disguise self, so that I'm just minnow.
Okay.
But I might actually, counter to what I just said, put my hood up a little and try and hide my face a bit as I, and maybe even sneak back to the tattooed turtle.
sure, give me a stealth check if you want to try to do that.
I'd love to not be seen here. Could we say it's with advantage because I was going to ask before I rolled and I should have, but because Finch is like giving me like, don't go that way, there's people that way, like duck around this corner, kind of like intel from up above.
Finch is functionally lowering the DC of this.
Fine. I'll take my 10.
However, with that, how should I put this? You're pretty sure that you, especially with Finch's assistance, no one tailed you, and probably no one really noticed you. The weakness of that stealth and sort of your own perception of it is more around you definitely left tracks. But someone would need to be knowing to look for those, and you're in a city.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a big deal.
I duck back into the tattooed turtle to wait for my friends.
Very good. So yeah, Ketch and Nero.
All right, so I'd be guessing that we'd be walking towards your destination first. Whatever it is
do you have
to
a
do.
destination?
No, it was more I was
Okay.
going to ask around once we were there, but we can be.
Okay, so as we walk out, Ketch is I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna look at Nero. You have to let me do all the talking. You can't just like wander off and like make like 15,000 new friends. We have a job. We have to do this job.
What if I don't wander off, but there's somebody there that I know?
What do you mean? Like in our area? Like right by
Yeah.
us?
Can I talk to them if they're my friend already?
Okay. But I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to ask you, do you know these people? Do you know their siblings, their spouses, their pets? And real quick,
I know your siblings are Pickles, Jingles, Snickers, Tuck, Dot, Ham, Jet, Fox, Hoss, and Goose.
Pass. But damn, you're good.
That was beautiful.
Okay, fine. Okay, great. But since we're talking, keep an eye out for cats.
in
Do
an
I see any
alleyway,
cats around?
sort of like just ahead of you, you see a cat sort of going.
Okay, can I make a persuasion check to that cat to be like, all right, move along, kitty?
Sure, give me a persuasion check.
Yeah. I get advantage on these.
15.
Better than 6.
Yeah, no, it's just sort of like, and it's just gonna fall into line behind Ketch.
Catch. You said to keep an eye out.
Yes, I know, Nero.
Right there.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Mhm.
I know. I know.
I tried. It didn't
All right,
listen.
let's go before more come.
Okay, I'll follow your lead. And I try to like mimic the way that Catch walks as I'm walking too.
Very good. By the time you get to about there are now 3 cats in train, just sort of trailing after. You see the one at the end sort of look back at you, look at Ketch, look back at you, look at Ketch. Also begins trying to walk like Ketch, just quadrupedally.
Are they circus cats?
Hey, maybe if we make them circus cats, we can actually make some money off of this thing.
So I'm going to say you're up to about 6 cats here. I'm assuming you're just trying to walk sort of directly to where you need
Mimics
to turn in
place,
this
right?
letter.
Yes.
To there. And you get to the street, and like I said, you're very familiar with this particular street. A second, I just
We have
realized.
a map. Wow.
You realize that means we're in trouble, right? Everybody else went smoothly, so of course.
Don't
Oh my
worry,
God, look
me
at all
and
the
my
fucking cats.
19 HP will be great.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you get to about here, which is sort of the start of the street, and you see Imnik's shop. You are well familiar with it. You are less familiar with the pair of dwarves standing outside of it, throwing sort of lit barrels of pitch into the smashed window. You also see a turtle and a shifter kind of huddled down here, and you recognize these two as Kinsey and Badger, who are both apprentices in this shop. And they're just kind of huddled. And then there's a kobold standing behind the two dwarves, and he kind of has his arms like crossed over his chest. He's just sort of like tapping his foot. He looks quite...
Catch, I know you said not to interfere, but can I interfere now?
Hello? Yes, yes. Hey, ass face, what are you doing?
So you shout, "Hey, ass face, what you doing?" And you see the dwarves are like look back at the kobold. I was like, "Retreat, Shadow Hand. We've done enough." And he'll start skittering away.
I love the like 1980s villain voice. It's so good. Yeah. Like
Kobolds inherently have to have really amusing voices.
It actually kind of reminded me of Paul Rubens' character from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I love that Minnow's like
Movie,
looking at like dumb kids on street corners, like, are these the Shadow Hand? And then you find them and they're like, the Shadow Hand is here! We will retreat now, the Shadow Hand! Have we told you that the Shadow Hand is here?
So Nero would have, when he asked Ketch if he could interfere, I would have immediately dashed toward them.
Let's say that put you about there as they started
I have a
running.
speed of 50 feet. So if I'm dashing too, that could be, I could get 100 feet in 6 seconds.
I can't. I would have. I probably would not have run right away.
I'm really easy to kill, but I'm fast, so.
So my
Well, it
connection
is
to the
just
server
rain
has
for
gone
about
down.
Sure.
10 feet because of the cats, so.
Just a second, I'm needing to reload my DM roll 20 because
Oh, sure.
I'd been moving a bunch of stuff and I was like, I looked over on stream screen and it wasn't reflecting, and then I saw the little red, you've been disconnected from the server.
Gotcha.
Lovely.
Yeah, okay. Jesus Christ.
Aw. Wait, I'm a character?
You're a character.
Yes, you are a character.
So yeah.
So let's say you basically looped around them as they started like bolting,
Ran in
and you're going to
circle.
see the kobold. Yeah. Can we help you as
You
members of the
said
Shadow Hand?
You're pretty
Liar.
open about that. I thought the Shadow Hand was a secret society. You know what secret means, right?
Oh shit, you're right. My failures are compounded.
That's okay. Friend, care to explain what's going on here?
Will be slowly coming up from the back, probably with cats hanging on my legs.
It's very good.
So incidentally, like there was already like the like West Side reference in Spire, but I am just picturing like the cats absolutely rolling up. Yeah, just snapping. And so like, yeah, this is we are launching into a song.
You better watch it. Ketch is gonna bust out in a I Feel Pretty dance scene here in a second.
There you go. Can I?
I'm a kitty. I'm a kitty.
The gap was bothering me, so I added more.
Beautiful. Galway, can I roll an insight check to see how if I see what the fuck is going on with this really weird kobold?
Sure.
Oh my.
So 15 insight for what the fuck is going on with this really weird kobold.
Like, do I believe that he really is with the Shadow Hand?
Oh
or
god,
is he-
no.
Okay.
No,
Well,
no,
I
no.
mean, Nero's not that smart.
No,
so,
no, no,
like,
no, 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 no. I know, no. I was just. Nero does not really believe this. It's kind of the way that he keeps saying Shadow Hand over and over, and also clearly pauses to think about it. Kind of Nero's like, I don't have to think about it before I say I'm with the Marauders. That's odd. No. And you do also very definitely notice the like smell of burning coming from the building next to you, which kind of makes sense. The two dwarves are kind of looking nervously between themselves and like clearly looking down ahead of them at the kobold, waiting for orders, which he is not delivering because you are just all up in his space at the moment.
So, again, why with the burning barrels?
well, you've pointed out that, the Shadow Hand really shouldn't talk about it, and that was on me for that first disclosure, and the subsequent disclosure, and I think there was one more after that, but I'm just going to go with not talking about it anymore. That building is on fire. Perhaps we
How much
move...
fire is there?
A lot.
A lot of fire now?
A lot of fire.
Okay, because I can shape fire within a 1-foot cube,
No.
which I realize it'll be more than that. But I was wondering if I could like shape a 1-foot cube and like fuck with him with it. But like, it's fine. Cat, and I kind of lean over to look past them, and I just am like, Catcher, are these is this where we were going?
Yeah, little ass face there set the place on fire. And then I'm gonna look over at the apprentices. So would there be in the town like a fire brigade of some sorts?
I also just love that the cats all move as one with you. It's just a giant block of...
We're the Jets, man.
When you're a cat all the way.
Yup.
From your first taste of nip till your
Wait,
last
are there...
Save us,
Okay, they're there.
please.
Yes. So is there like a fire brigade or some sort in the town?
It's really normally run by like district by district.
Okay.
It's more of a neighborhood watch version of...
Right. Well,
putting on
then
a
I'm
front.
going to yell at the two scared apprentices to go get help.
Oh, right.
So you're gonna you're
And then
gonna
I'll
help
just
us
keep
put the
advancing.
fire out now, or you're gonna get hurt. And I kind of just stand there and smile in front of them.
The kobold's gonna be like, I'm astonishingly sure I pay you for something. Hit them! And at this, one of the dwarves is gonna sort of nod and move into range with you, whereas one is turning behind you. We can now roll initiative, absolutely. But they do look like they are potentially going to try to fight you.
Sorry, Chris.
Hey, no, I guess it's a good thing you came with me because this was obviously set for a fight scene. Question.
So click on your token and then click initiative. 16 for Nero.
Hold on, sorry. Second. I have to click my care. Hey,
Oh,
So-
we're already in order. Nice.
question.
Yes.
Can I
Weaponize the cats.
What?
Weaponize the cats.
Yes. I was gonna have like a quick little powwow and see if they'd be willing to like, for a little extra ring time, help me fight.
I realize I need to put in a custom stat block for a swarm of cats now. You think that you might be able to use, like, speak with cats to try to persuade them. You would also say that they are still cats, and while they are fascinated by you and very much want to be near you, they are, one, limited by the abilities of their forms, and, like, these are street cats, and two, not inclined to put themselves in massive amounts of personal danger. Like, that's actually one of the reasons why your athletics check to shake them off the first time worked, because basically the cats all of a sudden like, fuck it, not worth it. But you might be able to persuade them to help you. And I would say you can think of that before we're coming to turns. But Nero.
Yeah, I totally thought this through.
Hey, friend, what are you doing?
Just a little arson? I mean, nothing? Nothing.
I feel like I would go after the kobold.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do stuff. Sorry, looking through my thingy. Okay. Fuck it. I'm going to oh, I think I could see if it hits first, or for Fangs of the Fire Snake. I didn't put that in there. That
I
probably
was
would've
not
been
that type of monk. I should grab my book real quick.
Yeah, this is my first time being I have it over here somewhere.
No, it's when you use the attack action. So it's not a buff on hit, the way like Stunning Strike is.
So it's a way I could fully waste, because usually they don't make you just waste key points by being able to miss, but...
Yeah, this is one of the few ones, which is true of a lot of other classes, that you kind of have to spend it and then see. But to be fair, one of the other things is the fact that your reach with unarmed strikes increases by 10 feet. So you have a 15-foot reach with unarmed strikes, and you get that regardless of whether you hit or not, which is probably why that one's written down. Oh, and the extra key point for extra damage is on a
comes after
hit.
I hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. How tall is the building next to me?
The on fire one or the other one?
The on fire one?
The on fire one is 1 story, so about like 12 feet tall.
Okay, so if I did...
Oh god.
If I did could I jump on top of the building and do Fist of the Fire Snake from up there? Is that a stupid question?
Yeah, theoretically, that's a stupid question. Yeah, you'd be able to reach. You're standing on top of a burning building.
The fire's not up to the roof yet, right? Or I don't know. Actually,
Sure, because the safest place to be in a building that's on fire is on the roof. I will say you are also in engagement range with 2 of them.
Oh, I can disengage if I make a melee attack, right?
Patient. Oh yeah. That's right, because you have
As my thing. Oh, but only from. But I can if I attack. Anyway, fuck it. I'll do a regular attack with my quarterstaff on the kobold dude.
Okie doke. $16 hits.
Yay! So that's 5 bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
And then technically right now I'm in range with 2 of them.
Yes. The kobold
so
and the...
I will use my
dwarf.
bonus action and free attack to kick at the dwarf that I'm also in range with.
Oh. Hey, Zeltars, thanks for the raid. And a 14 hits.
So I do 6 damage to the dwarf, and then I run.
And you have the mobile feat, right?
That's why I wanted to attack both.
Yeah.
As long as I make a melee attack, even if it misses, I can leave without an attack of opportunity. And again, 19 health. So I'm gonna run.
Truly your peak monk.
I'm gonna run like 20. Let me see. I'll be like right here, maybe, let's say. So I'm still kind of not super visible, but I'm, yeah.
So as you like dash away, you can see a person in this other building like peering through the window, and then like as you run, like they duck backwards, like pull the blinds closed. And as you sort of are running away, you do realize that if someone else hadn't noticed the things that they've done before, they've just witnessed you punch a couple of people and then run like hell, while an army of street cats rolls up on them from the other side.
Nero does not catch any of this.
Cool. For Rachel's edification, then. Anything else?
Can I like free action look around to see if there's like a bucket of water? Because, that's going to do a whole lot for a burning building.
Yeah, give me a quick perception check. Not that you can see on the street.
Fair.
All right. The kobold.
Coward.
Nah. Tonight, doing the voice of the kobold.
Damn, he's quick.
And as you see him disappear around the corner, Nero, because you're sort of like focused on looking around and sensing, you hear, "Oh shit! I mean, good day, officers."
Good.
You're gonna see the dwarves kind of like look at each other, and then this one is going to just like go running after the kobold. There.
Nobody wants to hit me after I hit them? Wow.
You hit that one, and so he very directly does not want to like have anything to fucking do with you. You just kicked him in the face. This one is going to sort of very be like, I don't really want to hurt the cats. Are you going to hurt me?
I mean, that kind of depends. Are you going to answer some questions? Otherwise, look down at all the cats. And then I'm going to fing out my own claws. I could use a good scratching post.
Give me a quick intimidation roll.
Ew, I suck.
Kitty's got claws.
He's gonna sort of like stop and nod. Reach down and pet one of the cats. Students seem fine.
Fantastic. So,
So, Ketch, it is now your turn.
it is now my turn. Okay. All right. So, talking to the cats, does that take like an action?
Talking to the cats, you have to cast the spell Speak with Animals. Parentheses, cats. So it's not so much that the speaking would, it's the casting of the spell.
Okay, I'm going to do that, and so I'll use one of my cat's meow points. I don't have anything to click for that. I just say I'm going to do it, right? Okay.
I should actually enter the spells in your spell sheet, in your character sheet at some point, just so you have access to and drop them in. But yes, you have Speak with Animals up now.
Okay, and so then I'm going to look at the cats because the dwarf can't understand, and I want him slightly more intimidated that I'm talking to these cats. And I'm just going to be like, so you guys are around and following me again. Any
Correct.
chance that you are willing to help me out if I need your assistance in this little street scurry we got going on here. I'll let you see the ring up close.
Give me a persuasion roll. As long as it's not dangerous or hard.
I mean, you see this guy right here? All you really have to do is, like, I don't know, piss on him or scratch him or bite him.
Just generally? He's petting cows.
Not like at the moment. Like, if, like,
But-
I'm going to ask him a couple questions, and if he decides he wants to be a jerk face, then. I'll even throw in some fish. My friend Dent, he's got all sorts of fish. You guys like fish, right?
Yes!
Rings and fish.
Are the cats also kobolds?
Yum.
Okay,
Oh.
so now that I have the cat's, like, assistants and they've circled him. Okay, now I'm going to address the guy. So, first things first. You're not Shadowhand. So who the hell are you?
You're probably only going to be able to get like one thing in for dialogue right now, but he does not appear like he's running. And he's going to be like, "Oh, I don't know. The little dude just hired my brother and I. That was it. We're from the Mercenaries Guild."
And you set buildings on fire?
We're not good at what we do.
Obviously.
And
And
that'll
at this,
probably
I'm gonna look and see. Can I look and see if I can see Nero?
You can see Nero hiding behind this, or not hiding behind this corner, but up at this corner.
Okay. And I
Is it my
holler
turn
for-
now?
And yeah, it is your turn.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna follow Mr. Kobold.
Sure thing.
I can get next to him with 50.
As you sort of move through, this guy does look like he's going to take
Oh.
a swing at you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I said he didn't really want to mess with you because you punched him, but you're just walking by. You have the worst luck.
Did you just double crit on me?
Double critting is what Spire is for. Back off my
You
game.
have the worst luck.
Why do you hate me, Galway?
Why do dice?
Why do dice?
Can inspiration be used to unroll someone else's roll?
No. It's not
Good try,
weaponized lucky. So that would be 8 slashing damage.
Cool, not too bad. I'm only at 11 now.
In the far distance, you hear Neldor. We're all gonna fucking die.
In the far distance and like 6 years in the future. Okay. You are now up next to the kobold.
I definitely look at the dwarf and I just say, rude.
Wait, so there's guards right there, and this kobold just swung his scimitar at you?
Not the
No,
kobold, the
dwarf
dwarf.
did. Like behind the building where they couldn't see, I believe.
Wait, so which ones are the guards? That's what I thought. Okay.
And yes, as you do come around the corner, you see a guard
Does Nero
patrol.
know any of the guards?
You're Nero. We've pretty much established as canon that you know some of everybody. You do not know these particular guards, but you do know some guards.
And I'm just gonna wave and be like, "Hey, guards, we've got this me, Nero, and we haven't met before, but I'm sure we'll be friends. There's a building on fire back there, and this gentle fellow here, set it on fire while yelling loudly about being with the shadow hand, and then ran when I tried to ask him questions.
Some parts of that story may not be completely accurate.
I mean, that's fair. I'm just doing my best to recall how I remember. Memory's a strange thing. Sometimes it comes off differently. But anyway, if you could just help out guards, we'd really appreciate it.
Are you trying to persuade them to act?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Would you like to use that as like your action?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to attack Mr. Kobold.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and give me a persuasion roll.
Meanwhile, in the real world, don't forget to read up on de-escalation techniques that don't involve calling the cops.
To be fair, I didn't call them.
I know. I'm not blaming Nero for anything here. This is a fantasy land.
Could I have done it with fucking advantage?
It's a 12. You did invoke the name of the Shadow Hand, and so the guards are gonna sort of come over. Like, we think we maybe need to ask everyone here some questions. Perhaps that's agreeable to everyone, and they're very much holding their sort of staves out at both you and the kobold.
I mean, I'm an open book, so you can ask me anything, really.
Anything else?
I'll probably also tell them they got a couple of dwarf buddies right behind us in this alley that were throwing barrels of fire into a shop.
Oh, there's more. Reinforcements, and he's going to start like ringing a
my
bell.
My cat friend and his cats are talking with him right now, but the building's still on fire. Yes, the Catalan.
Very good. You're going to see Nero. This guy whips around the corner, scimitar drawn, sees the pair of guards. All right, yeah, no. It just like drops it. Yeah, no. He punched me very hard.
It's true, I did.
The kobold has absolutely just like, all right, fine. Try to be cool. Fine. And this dwarf is just now petting all of the cats. So we are out of initiative order, and for the sake of timing and for those of us on the East Coast, I think we're probably going to wrap up here with you having successfully gone through an encounter. You also now do see from back here, the apprentices are returning. More members of sort of the neighborhood generally are coming outside. A bucket chain is being formed. And it looks like the fire is not necessarily being entirely put out. But it is at least being limited. It's not spreading through. I would like to point out a bookbinder's shop. So there was a lot of paper in there. But yeah, that was very good. Everyone, we had a sort of a Spire-esque large party split. You all did so well. No one died. No one ended up with debilitating drug side effects. And
no one's slowly turning into a bug.
And you didn't.
No one took laxatives.
And you didn't have an NPC try to murder another more important NPC. So yeah, this was pretty successful. Yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you everyone for playing. Thank you for having this party split. I think we're going to be getting the Marauders back together into one place pretty quickly to start off next time. If you have enjoyed this, if you would like to see more of these kinds of shows, such as the aforementioned and very amazing Spire, more of Tier Moontree Isle, or more of our other D&D streams, such as Goats and Dragons, or Dom and Dragons, where we play D&D with Dominic Monaghan, which is on a season break at the moment. You can follow us here on Twitch, where we are Helpful Goat. You can also check out our archive over on YouTube. Just look for Helpful Goat Gaming. And you can check out our podcast with links in the information down below. We have two main feeds, Helpful Goat Presents and Goats and Dragons. From everyone here at Helpful Goat Gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Hope you had a great time. I very much enjoy seeing what these characters are up to, and it felt good to get back into tier, having had a couple of weeks break. I also love that the first thing that I saw when I logged in was Sam wearing his Dent helmet, and I just didn't question. Of course. By the end of this series, I suspect that he will be in a complete set of armor. If you would like to interact more with us, participate more, hang out, get to watch us stream some games just internally, you can use the !Discord command in chat and get a link to join our Discord. Like I said, we do a lot of things in there. I've streamed Return of the Obra Dinn. We've had a great time with that. We play games with people. We recruit for gaming online. We recruit for some of our play testing, all kinds of things, and we also just hang out and have a great time. So go ahead and click that link to join us there. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at HelpfulGoat. For everyone at Helpful Goat, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Sam does have a face, not just eye slits. But remember, the eyes are just decorative. The eye slits underneath it.